What is up, guys? How is everybody tonight? I can already see some of you here in the live chat. So you may notice something. The background looks a little bit different. First off, as always, let me know how the audio sounds. Can you guys hear me clearly? Am I too loud? I had to change my setup here just for now, for like 2 weeks maybe, until I can get back out into the other room where I had everything set up before. Let me know how this looks. What do you guys think? Does everything look good? Can you hear me? What's up, Crooked Bangs from California, all the way from California. I'm from California, born and raised. Lived there till I was 20. Beautiful place. Devin LaBelle, hello from Appalachia. I don't know how to say that. I think I might have butchered that. I'm so happy to see all you guys here, man. Pro Illusionist, as always, thank you for always being here. Carson as well. Sin City, beautiful place as well. Shadows of Your Mind. What's up, Dave? How are you, man? Crooked Bangs, sounds good to me. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me know the audio sounds fine. I promise, as time goes on, I will try to update this situation so I can hear my own audio. I still have to learn how to do all this stuff, really. I've been just going live on a whim, trying to have these conversations with you, because for me, like I've said before, this is super important, and just getting to talk to you guys really makes my week. And being able to interact with you guys, I feel like, when you make videos and you see comments and stuff, you're not really like in the moment interacting with people. And when I see you guys here in the live chat, I feel like we're really, really sitting down and talking. We're having a coffee or a beer or whatever and just talking about the subject. So thank you guys as always for being here. Before we kick this off, let's do something, or do me a favor and take the link from this live and share it on Twitter or any social media platforms that you guys use, so we can get more people in the live chat, have a good discussion tonight. How are you guys doing, man? Let me check out the banner at the bottom does look a little cut, but it's fine. It's fine for tonight. Like I said, we had kind of a family emergency, so everything's fine though, don't worry. We're just trying to roll with the punches here. So what I did is I decided to move this into the bedroom for now. So this is like my bedroom, and luckily I have this little light here. Looks pretty cool. And as always, I rigged stuff up from stuff that I found, and I just moved it over. And for now, for this week and next week, I think it's going to be like this. We hanging out. Exactly, Carson. Thank you, Pro Illusionist, for saying don't forget to smash the like button. Yeah, guys, obviously the more interaction we can get here, the better. So Rodrigo, greetings from Portugal. Man, you guys are coming in from all over the world, and that really just shows how much of a global phenomenon this is. How it affects people in every part of the world, and it's part of what really makes this subject so interesting for me. It's like, I know that there's cases from all over the world. I know people all over the world have had encounters. I know that people truly believe in this phenomenon. So yeah, glad to see all my truth seekers here, all my people looking for the truth. So what's everybody eating for dinner tonight? Upon the Phenomenon. Hey, Upon the Phenomenon. You guys should check out his channel. He's got some good content on there. Make sure to check him out. So tonight we wanted to talk about disclosure and why it's a process, why I believe it's a process, right? Many of you might agree with me, so start letting me know in the live chat if you agree with me, or if you think disclosure needs to happen or will happen, in an instance. Now, what inspired me to do this and talk about this, even though I've thought about this a million times, many times, maybe not a million times, but many times, was Post Disclosure World's video. I don't know if you guys saw it today. He gave like some updates, and then he basically pointed this out at the end of his video, that disclosure is a process. Let me check out the live chat again. Somebody's eating tamales. Stina. I wish I had some tamales. That sounds good. Whiskey Thieves, San Francisco. What's up, Whiskey Thieves? Tamales and a little bit of whiskey wouldn't be that bad. Oh, the debrief. So many people believe we crashed the debrief's website. We're gonna get into the debrief a little bit tonight, definitely. But because it's part of this whole idea that disclosure truly is a process. Guys, I don't think it's gonna be one day to the next. My last video was about if there will ever be a disclosure president, and I truly don't think that there will be a president that puts his credibility on the line, or just because it seems like if anyone ever truly knows what the purpose of this phenomenon is, I am leaning more to the side of a interaction with us where we aren't, the most important thing in this scenario, right? If you could look into close encounter cases and abduction cases, we are studied, we are examined, and lots of us don't have a choice if we get abducted or not, or if we have a close encounter. It just sort of happens. Not to say that all close encounters are negative. Some are positive. Some people have life-changing experiences. It opens up their mind. It lets them know that they're not alone, and that we're all not alone. But I've been looking into the phenomenon. Some people might think that I'm a newbie in this. I got some UFO researchers in the past telling me like, well, I've been looking into this for 17 years and stuff like that. I'm in my 30s, early 30s, but I've probably been looking into this phenomenon since I was, really looking into it, probably since I was 15. So that's about 15 years and a little bit there. And I've seen, I like to look into the past a lot. I like to look at UFO history and what got us to where we are today. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen some tweets of mine where I share videos, from the 60s, from the 70s, from the 80s, just videos that remind me that this phenomenon has been interacting with us the same way this whole time, right? The observables have been the same this whole time, which is why at this point in my life, I truly believe that UFOs are a reality. Obviously for me, when the Gimbal, the Go Fast, and the FLIR video came out to the public, and it was being talked about in the media, for me that was like one of the greatest days, right? It was short-lived when I realized that nobody really cared, and that even people in the UFO community were just waiting to rip those things apart. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them, because like I said, I've been looking into this phenomenon since I was like 15, and now I'm 30, and I'm still doing it. And I'm telling you, disclosure is a process. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. And I know there's people that have been looking into this phenomenon their whole lives, right? People that are much older than me that have a wiser approach, maybe a lot more data driven. They got a lot of research under their belt. And it must be very difficult to have spent and dedicated so much of your life to this subject and to still be waiting for disclosure. Because I know there were flaps in the past, right? There were flaps, and there were moments in the past where the UFO subject was talked about. Like just think about when the Phoenix Lights happened, when the Battle of Los Angeles happened, when all these things happened. There were researchers at that time that were probably like, this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I knew this was going to happen. It's disclosure. But it was the stepping stones that led us to where we are today. all those experiences, all the researchers that did their work, their due diligence, some that are here today and some that have sadly passed away. Rest in peace, Stanton Friedman. Rest in peace, J. Allen Hynek, John Mack, just to name a few, right? And I don't know. This is a game of chess that we're playing at this moment. This is a game of chess. The difference for me that I noticed, at least, is that once these 3 videos came out, once ATIP came to light, because before it was like, Project Blue Book existed, but people didn't really believe that the governments were looking into UFOs, right? You had to be a UFO researcher to really know about Project Blue Book or Grudge. And today, you do not have to be a UFO researcher to know that. Like, just grab the New York Times. Just turn on the news. And, seeing Obama talk about this, be asked about this, right? He didn't really talk about it. But you guys got to admit, Stephen Colbert came back at him with a great response, right? When he said, basically like calling him out on his, basically saying like he didn't know how to play poker. Because if there was nothing there, he would have openly talked about it. But he couldn't tell us. He said he knew something, but he couldn't tell us. And let me check out the live chat. So I've been blabbing for too long. Let's check out the live chat. I missed a lot of it, guys. Sorry. So let me catch up. Pro Illusionist is dropping knowledge in the live chat. He says we should have been told the truth maximum a few years after 1947. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that disclosure or like the truth should be held from us. I think that I do also lately I've been having this issue, right? I've been going back and forth on disclosure. I'll be honest, guys. I love disclosure. I'm fighting for the truth. I really am. But when I look around and I see my peers, or I see just everyday average people walking around like in a fog, right? Not paying attention to how amazing and how magical reality is just in itself. Not even talking about the UFO phenomenon. How some people, I don't know, it's like they're living with blinders on, right? They don't stop and stare at the stars every so often. And I wonder, if they will be ready for the truth, the general public. You and I, all of us here, we're ready for the truth. I'm ready for even the darkest truth to come out. Because I ran all the scenarios through my brain. I ran them all through my head a million times. And, I feel like, I believe UFOs are real. I believe in the phenomenon. 100%. I try to do my research. I try to put in work to try to find that, that smoking gun, even just for myself. Even something to tell myself, yeah, you know what? You're not on the wrong path. And what you believe is right, So let's check out the live chat again, guys. Sorry. It's a topic that I think about a lot. So I think today I'll have some stuff to say. I'm also happy that this worked out and that I'm being able to do a live tonight. I didn't think I was going to be able to do a live. I thought I was going to have to cancel the live for this week. Crooked Bang says, in the Matrix. Yeah. The other day on one of the podcasts, we talked a little bit about simulation theories and that kind of stuff. So make sure to check out that UFO podcast when it drops. The second part of our roundtable episode that we recorded like a week ago. I think the first part's out there, so you guys can check it out on Spotify or something. Carl Anderson, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. Teresa, welcome back. She says, I have seen, listened, and heard many leaders of other planets, and they are worried because they wonder about the course of the EU will follow. Shadows of your mind. Hard to find info beyond rumors, though. Sleeve Gamish. Hello, Gaucho. We are ready. Yeah, I know. I'm saying personally, guys, we spend so much time in these communities, in the UFO community, talking about this subject. I mean, the amount of time I've spent dedicated to looking into this subject and high strangeness and consciousness and doing mental gymnastics to try to work my brain around these topics. I probably spent more time doing this than any other, hobby or any other subject, which is, if I think about it and I try to add it all up, it's pretty mind-blowing to think about. Why would this subject take over my life in that way? But I feel like once you dive in, once you get down the rabbit hole, there's no turning back. If you go down the rabbit hole the right way, there's no going back. You've already opened up Pandora's box. Let me check out the live chat. Rodrigo Vieira. Colbert and Obama talked about UFOs alongside a subject as sensitive as the drone issue under his administration. That is significant. Teresa, I remember that. Kind of weird. Got to keep up with the live chat, guys. I'm getting used to having I'm trying to get used to having so many of you in here and keep up with you guys. So, I mean, guys, the subject is really becoming mainstream. To a point where presidents are talking about it more and more often. And I honestly, I don't know what some people are, some people in the community seem to be let down by what others call disclosure or what we call disclosure, right? Some people are saying they mock the disclosure community. They mock people that believe in disclosure. But if you were just a little awake and you just realized and you looked back at the history and you looked at where we are now, I mean, this has been a process to get us where we are today. It has definitely been a process, and I'm happy about where we are today. I can't wait for us to get further and further into this subject. So let me know what you guys think, right? Are you happy with the current state of disclosure, where we are today? Are you okay with it? Do you get what's going on? The only way, guys, we're ever going to be able to really, I've thought about this a lot. The only way I'll ever be able to do something more than research is if somehow, some way, I can, somehow, some way I can get the right resources, the right contacts, something that can take me to a location, something that gets me on the spot, on the ground, and, gets me behind those closed doors. That's the only way I could truly sit here and tell you guys, what could happen next. Or I feel like that's so important. There's been moments where I've just spent the whole night researching, and then the next morning I get up and I'm just like, wow, I'm tired from all that researching. And then I'm like, man, but I won't really know unless I'm there in that meeting. I won't really know unless I'm holding that debris in my hand, or I won't really know unless I'm looking at that file. This is a game of chess. Like I'm telling you guys, we got to play it right. We got to try and keep pushing forward. Try our best to, stay strong in this search, because it gets tiring, right? That's what I was saying before. I totally understand people that are. Tired of waiting for disclosure. Shadows of Your Mind said, many just aren't interested. Shadows of Your Mind again said, repeated that twice. He said, we think we are in control of disclosure, but we aren't. I agree 100%. We are not in control of disclosure. And that's why I'm saying the only way, I could ever do that, right? I could ever tell you, like, I know what's coming, or I know all the secrets, is if I had the connections, the money. Robert Bigelow was my best friend, or I was on ATIP. If I was doing these lives and I was a member of ATIP, I'd probably have an NDA, and I probably wouldn't even be able to tell you at the end of the day. But I don't know, guys. So let me check out the live chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Upon the Phenomenon says, the gatekeepers in the Pentagon make me want to pull all my hairs out. Tired of the information wars. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen that video that I put out a few months ago, I think, or a month ago, talking about the phenomenon itself not wanting disclosure. I truly think that if the phenomenon wanted to openly make contact with us and integrate into our society, it definitely would have already. Give me one sec, guys. Let me have some water. This is a nice setup, right? I'm thinking this isn't that bad. At first I was a little worried, but now I'm liking it. You guys can probably hear me like slurping water through the mic. Let me check out the live chat again. So, actually, back to what I was saying. I got distracted by the water. So the phenomenon itself, guys, let's be real here. It truly has not made full open contact with us, right? It's contacted a few people. It's abducted a lot of people. It shows itself to a lot of people, but it hasn't landed and really tried to influence or take us to that new plateau as a species. Because if you think about it, they probably could with that technology. They could give us free energy. And that could lead to so many advances that could actually help the world. It could help our species. I know that the government and the military, the moment they get their hands on this thing, if they haven't already, a wink at Bob Lazar, they're going to turn it into a weapon. No doubt about it. They're going to turn it into a weapon. They're already painting this as a threat. And it's possible that it could become a threat, right? I don't see why not, right? I don't see how you could look at this phenomenon, see all the capabilities these craft have, look at the abduction phenomenon, and not consider this a possible threat. Possible, right? A lot of people jump in my throat when I talk about the threat aspect of the phenomenon, but I'm just saying possible threat. Love the throat sounds. I'm sorry, guys. What throat sounds? Is me clearing my throat? I know. I'm sorry. Look, just because you said it, now I had to clear my throat again. Yeah, it's kind of hot in this room, and I always have to clear my throat. I think when I get nervous or I talk too much, I get like a dry throat and I have to clear it. So sorry, Crooked Bangs. But let me know what you guys think in the live chat, guys. Like, am I headed in the right direction? Right? Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Sometimes I might not have the right idea, the right concept, right? Sometimes I may be looking down the wrong rabbit hole, and that's why you guys are here. That's why the community exists, so you guys can actually help me, right? Get closer to the truth. We can all get closer to the truth together. Mickle in a pickle. What's up, man? Maybe we need to ask them for help rather than wait for it. That's very possible, Mickle. But I don't know. Every abduction case I've ever looked into, like most abduction cases, most close encounters, most times when people come into contact with this, it's not a good situation, right? It's either traumatizing or something negative happens, or an actual physical, some kind of physical action is brought upon the abductee, right? Like scarring or some kind of situation like that. Let me look at the live chat. Hey, so Were the throat sounds me clearing my throat? Because now I'm worried. I got this microphone super close to my face. If you guys could see the full setup here, I think you guys would crack up. It's like I have a bunch of shoe boxes stacked up to put the mic on top. I'm sitting in between a little cut here. So let me check out the live chat again. Upon the phenomenon, UAPs have led to the demise of many civilizations. Well, I'm not sure. Give me a little more information on that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, your theories about that. Carson Latta, maybe we don't want their help. Don't click agree to terms and conditions. A human centipede. Shadows of your mind. The right rabbit hole. We're all looking down different tunnels, though. Yeah, I agree. We're all looking down different tunnels. Crooked Bang said I was kidding. I mean, guys, if I had headphones, I could like hear it, so I would know if you were kidding or not. I'd be like, oh, whatever. But I'm like, oh, I can't hear anything. Maybe I sound crazy. But Devin LaBelle, ever heard of the Flatwoods Monster? Definitely a typical alien from Appalachia. Can I say that? Is that how you say it? Appalachia? 2. The Flatwoods Monster. I think I do. That was the one that literally, it looks kind of like it reminds me kind of the Mothman. It's got like a big head with red eyes, right? Let me see. Let me check this out, because I'm pretty sure that's, yeah, exactly, the Flatwood Monster. The West Virginia folklore is an entity reported to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia, United States on September 12, 1952, following the appearance of a bright object crossing the night sky. Creepy dude. Creepy looking guy. Yeah, I have heard of that case. There's actually a really good Project Blue Book episode with, I think they make reference to the Flatwoods Monster, if I'm not mistaken, and Hynek kind of like proves it's like an owl or something in the woods sitting in a tree during a fire, which is kind of interesting. So let me check out the live chat again, guys. Thank you guys for being here, man. Thank you guys for joining me on these lives. For me, this is like a great interaction. Like, I have a great time every time we do this, and honestly, yeah, I'm just so grateful that you guys would even take time out of your days or your night to come hang out with me. Johnny Hernandez, what's up, man? He is a Spanish viewer of the channel, y yo hablo español, así que dice, cuando el humano sea una amenaza para ellos, ese día vendrán a poner las reglas. He basically said the day that humans are a threat to them, that's the day they're going to come, basically lay down the law, put down the rules. You know, I've heard of some stories. It might sound funny, but I've heard of some stories where people have actually, you know, punched a gray or attacked the beings. I always wonder how I would react, because there's moments that I thought, like, I wonder why I don't get abducted, right? Why they don't just, I'm talking about this all day. I'm literally on the internet. My face is all over the place. You know, why wouldn't they come and make contact with me? And then I think about it a little bit, and I think that I wouldn't want to get abducted, right? And I may put up a little bit of a fight. Maybe not right away. I would try to see what the situation was, what was going on, you know, what their intentions might be. Even if I could control the situation, because most of the time you can't even control the situation. Like, your emotions get manipulated. But I don't think I would go too easy, right? I may be a problem if you try to abduct me. But Big Smoke, what's up, man? Upon the phenomenon, he says maybe that's why they tamper with our nuclear tech. Now, I've asked myself the nuclear tech question a bunch of times, many times. It's like, I really don't know if they're literally telling us not to use nuclear weapons because that is like the most powerful weapon that we have. Have you guys ever thought about that? Like, they may be telling us, hey, why don't you put down your gun? You know, what better way to disarm someone than to convince them that using the gun is a bad thing, right? Like, give me your weapon. Trust me, you don't want to use it. Even though nuclear weapons, in my opinion, are, you know, nuclear bombs and any sort of warfare, in my book, is not that good. It's not a good thing. But, yeah, I've wondered if maybe what they're really trying to do is just disarm us in a way that we really could never use those weapons on them or maybe on the planet. Teresa says, I'd love to get abducted. I don't know, guys. I'm telling you. I feel like a lot of the situations, a lot of the encounters, they're not that positive. I mean, I've been looking into this phenomenon a long time, like I said, and if I did have the chance to have a close encounter at this point in my life, I mean, I'd have to take it. Just because I'm here doing this, right? We're fighting for the search. You know, we're fighting for the truth. We're trying to, you know, figure this whole thing out. And if I can get close up to an occupant or something, or just see one or anything, you know, have an experience like that, I would definitely. But I'm not saying it would be a good situation. You know, you might end up like Travis Walton. You might have a horrible experience and end up somewhere on the side of the road a few days later after everyone thought you were dead or something. Yeah, Shadows of Your Mind. He says there's an article on abductees fighting back in our latest issue. You see? Exactly. And that's probably where I read what I was talking about. So make sure to check out Shadows of Your Mind. He has a magazine, an online zine. It's definitely worth checking out. It's awesome. He does great work. I don't know how he puts it all together on his own, but he does. And definitely show him some love there, guys. Mickle in a pickle. Let's see. Yet back a few years ago, they turned on the Russian nukes. Fortunately, they eventually turned them off. I believe they are multiple species with multiple agendas, bad and good. I do too, Mickle. You know, I do believe that if we're going to look at this topic and this idea that there are occupants, there is intelligent life either visiting us or interacting with us from who knows where, we need to understand that it's not one group, right? It's not, and each of them is going to have their own view, their own take on our species. So that's, for me, that's like 100%. That's why whenever I hear the love and light thing and I hear people saying that they're only coming in peace, I think to myself, you know, I don't normally say it to them because a lot of those people will get offended, you know, if you say that you think they're not actually coming in peace. I do think some may be coming in peace trying to help us, right? But Dan, what's up, man? He says it's quite possible without intervention we'd be living in a nuclear apocalypse. That's also possible. Maybe we're not living in a nuclear apocalypse because they've been intervening this whole time behind the curtain and we don't even know. That's also something. Pro Illusionist, My Labs. My Labs is interesting. My Labs is tricky, and it's something that I really haven't dived that deep into. I see them, obviously, I hear about it when you read close encounter cases or abduction cases. You hear about people seeing humans on board the craft that seem to be working side to side with these occupants, which is interesting. And, I mean, but we do know that supposedly there's like a hybrid program, and supposedly there are humanoid-looking aliens. And if there are humanoid-looking aliens that look just like us, there could definitely be aliens just walking around the streets. And maybe when they're done walking around the streets, they go back into their craft, and that's what people are seeing in those abduction cases. They could definitely infiltrate the highest level of government, infiltrate any system that we have. If they look just like us, who knows, what that could mean for us. I do think, though, that people often overlook how important humanoid, exactly like human looking aliens is. I mean, basically saying that a human looks exactly like us, a human, a humanoid alien looks exactly like us, right? Is pretty crazy to think about. Because if you look at any, ancient history or ancient religion, this concept of we were made in the image of the gods, and there you go. I mean, if there are humanoid looking aliens that look just like humans, that's something we got to figure out, because then that might explain why we look so different from everything else on the planet. We might just be a little, a branch of humanoid looking aliens that don't even know they're aliens living on Earth. Teresa said, what about Southern television broadcast interruption? What was that? I didn't hear about that. What happened with that? Let me know about that. Carson Lada. The question is, how many are nice compared to hostile? That's something we're going to have to figure out over time, Definitely. It's a good question, Carson. But it's definitely something we're going to have to figure out over time. And the hostile aspect of it really doesn't seem to be something you hear that often, right? Like hostility. It's more of like a complete disregard for our rights as a human being, right? It's not like they're kicking down the door. We're the hostile ones. We're the crazy, violent ones. They're just like taking us and studying us. They're not like putting us in a ring in some spaceship to have like death matches or anything. But I'm saying, like, you rarely ever hear a story of a hostile alien, unless it's like a reptilian. That's a whole nother thing we could talk about. That's something that, as crazy as, if you're going to look into the phenomenon and you're going to look at all the different species and different types of beings that come with this, the reptilians are going to come up. Now, are a lot of those, eyes looking crazy on the internet, are those glitches or issues with, the cameras that they're using? Yeah, totally. They are, sometimes like streaming cameras and cameras that are like, like news cameras, they lag. There's like a little, between frames and stuff like that. And it can give this crazy effect that makes it look like they're shape-shifting their eyes or something. But who knows, right? If there's grays and if there's arachnid, if there's grays or there's mantis type, I don't know why I said arachnid, that'd be really scary. Like an arachnid humanoid, but mantis, right? Mantis type beings and reptilians and all this different, like, you basically have to have an open mind when it comes to the whole subject of the beings, of the occupants, because there are a lot of different descriptions that they can get kind of crazy when you look into it. Hey, Project Unity's here. What's up, man? How are you, dude? What's up? I'm glad to see you here. If you guys haven't checked out the fireside chat with Project Unity, definitely worth checking out. And check out his content. He's got a great channel. He does great work. He's a cool dude, so make sure to check him out. Lots of awesome people here tonight, man. Thank you guys again for being here, pulling these late night sessions here. So now I lost track of what I was saying. We were talking about the different kinds of beings and occupants there. But I mean, the idea behind this video, this topic, is disclosure is a process, is I just want to like let some people know, that this is actually happening. Disclosure is really happening. Did you guys read the debrief The Tim McMillan article. Let me check out the live chat again. V says, we cannot say for certain they are what they say they are or what we perceive them to be. That's a good one, V. Very true. Thinking about slide 9 when you say that. For those of you who know that what slide 9 is, you'll get what I'm talking about. Caesar, hello from Algrave in Portugal. But I'm a South African. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good. What time is it in Portugal? Okay, so you guys were responding there that you guys read the article. Awesome. Actually, the Signal, who's somebody else you guys should check out on Twitter. He makes some cool Tic Tac themed merch. He's a cool dude. He was on that UFO podcast with me. He sent me the article today. I kind of slept on the article. I'll be honest, all this talk about this news that was going to drop and this whole drama that happened on UFO Twitter, it kind of just, I mean, the whole time I've kind of just been like waiting to find out what was going to happen. You know, I didn't want to speak too early or start talking about it or get my hopes up. But for me, the article was great. You know, Tim McMillan did a great job as always. And this idea of transmedium travel, right? These craft that can go through water and air. It's funny that the idea of a USO and a UFO, it's like they're separate, right? Because for me, if we're going to consider that these craft have the flight capabilities that they have, and you know, we know that a lot of cases, large bodies of water are a big part of the case, right? So people see UFOs around large bodies of water. It would be, in my opinion, illogical to think that all these craft that we're seeing are not, you know, don't have the capability to traverse the sea or water and the sky, right? If they can basically fly faster than anything we've ever seen, this idea of a USO and a UFO is interesting, I guess, because one, if you're trying to like classify it and talk about it under the guise of what it means, you know, one is an unidentified submerged object and one is a unidentified flying object. But for me, it's one and the same. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say. Not an article, a paper. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, you guys are talking about something else. You see? See what happens when I don't look at the live chat while I talk? Project Unity says the BESA or the BESA paper is extremely worthwhile, and it got a big shout out from Christopher Mellon. Awesome. Project Unity, it's cool. I was correcting myself. Mickle and a pickle. Carson Latta, Project Unity, was it at 17 minutes? Read from the Pentagon. Upon the phenomenon, unidentified space-time phenomenon. Project Unity, the BESA paper isn't the 17th minute read one. That is Tim's article on Debrief. Yeah. Sleeve Garner said magnetic field cavity waveguides all V intersecting. Well, there you're getting a little too deep for me. But basically what I'm saying, guys, is the USO and the UFO for me go hand in hand, right? They even used this new phrase, for me at least it was a new phrase, in the Tim McMillan, in the Debrief article. He said a USP, right? So it's unidentified submerged phenomenon, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was USP. So for me, it's the same thing, guys. We're seeing the same craft. It's just, obviously, if the craft has the ability to fly the way it does and move the way it does, and it's such advanced tech, why would it not be able to traverse water? Why would it not be able to go through the ocean? There's that, I think it's, what is it, guys? Correct me. Somebody knows this, but it's like the Costa Rica video where they're chasing, I think it's Nicaragua or Costa Rica, where it's like video from a cockpit or something, right? Or a plane that's chasing a craft. I'm probably gonna butcher this one too, but I like this video just because it shows this transmedium travel. So the craft actually like splits apart and stuff. But yeah, I'm saying USO and UFO for me, one and the same. The Tim McMillan article was amazing. It's nice to see that this is still going forward. Disclosure really is happening. It's nice to see President Obama talking about it. It's nice to see where we're headed, right? One second. Cesar says the base of paper is life-changing. Thank you for suggesting that, Project Unity. I have not read it. I'm going to have to read it now because you guys are really talking it up in the live chat. V says, where is the base paper? Project Unity, if you can, shoot me a DM or share it on Twitter and copy me in there. Pro Illusionist looks like he's checking it out. He says, I'm still only through it about 10 pages. How many pages is it, guys? Wait, alien scientist. What are you guys talking about? Maybe he's an alien. I don't know. Hey, Julie, what's up, man? Not late at all. Hope you're doing good. Sleeve garnish. No link Unity saws. Okay. So, I am losing track of what's going on in the live chat. Project Unity says that I need to read the base of paper. Definitely. I definitely do need to read it. And I need people like you, to send it to me, because today I totally slept on the Tim McMillan article. I had no idea it even dropped. I was waiting for it, and then somebody was talking to the Signal, and he was like, hey, have you read it yet? And I had actually even retweeted his tweet just because we're friends, right? So he tweeted something, and I was like, oh, cool, and I retweeted it, and I saw that it was the debrief. And then I realized that's the article we were all waiting for. Oh, Julie says it's on Twitter too. Awesome. Great. He's on Twitter. Who are you talking about? The alien scientist guy? Sleeve? Project Unity says it was written by a former British intelligence officer called Frank Marcus. Okay, cool. And you're going to interview him soon. That's great, man. You're going to do a great job with that, man. Awesome. Thank you for DMing me the paper, man. Caesar says, thanks, Jay and Undead Gaucho. Wonderful news. So, hey, are we done talking about the monolith yet? Are we still talking about the monolith in the community? Simon Page, what's up, man? He says, hey, Gaucho, UK here. A witness in the Westall case said she saw the UFO fly through a cluster of trees without disturbing them. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, people have talked about UFOs literally changing shape and appearing and, coming out from clouds and different kinds of things like that. And I think that if you take into consideration, what people have seen in the past, it may be very possible that somehow, some way, they can traverse objects, right? Not just water, not just sea. Somehow, some way, they can go through solid objects. I don't know. We're getting kind of deep there. Let's check out the live chat again. Upon the Phenomenon says, what do you think of the overall goal of TTSA is? I think the overall goal of TTSA is literally what they are saying their goal is. They are trying to, one, learn how to use the tech, right? Re-engineer the tech, push forward the idea and, help sort of get the public ready for this truth that basically is going to continue to happen with disclosure. This idea, this, we are not alone, and we are being visited, we are being interacted with, and we have never been alone. So they're helping sort of spread that. And I mean, I hope, they really earned my respect. And I hope that in the future, we don't trip over our shoelaces, or we don't have a bad situation come from that. But I don't believe that's what's going to happen. I think that they are genuine, and they're really trying to find answers to this phenomenon. I'm a big fan of Lou Elizondo. Christopher Mellon is awesome. Tom DeLonge, he's super cool in my book. And yeah, the whole TTSA team, I think what they're doing is legendary. If I had the chance to do that, I would definitely do it. If I had the chance to really dedicate myself to push this subject much further than anyone has, because that's basically what they did. They brought this subject to a whole new plateau, and a lot of people hate on them for that. And I think it's merely jealousy, because when I first saw Tom DeLonge come out, I like Blink-182, but I was like, where's this going to go? But then he started to prove himself, right? I saw that Joe Rogan, even when he talked to Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan podcast, it was like Joe Rogan was belittling him. He didn't even believe him. And of course, if you're a guy like Tom DeLonge, who is experiencing the birth of TTSA, you are going to be all over the place. Guys, if I ever have inside sources or government people talking to me, and I don't know, I'm working on a project, and I know it's coming, and I'm finally getting, closer to the truth. I'm finally part of disclosure, like really part of disclosure, right? I'm not just fighting for it. I'm not just a supporter of disclosure. I'm actually in the mix. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to be like, get me on Joe Rogan. I'm probably going to sound just like Tom DeLonge did, and there's people that just aren't ready to have live discussions. I've noticed that I sometimes stumble over my words, or say things that maybe I shouldn't have said when I have like a live discussion. But Pro Illusionist says all TTSA guys seem genuine, but then again, they are intelligence community members, so who actually knows? And that's something that I think we should never forget, right? Don't ever forget that. But like I said, I do respect Lou Elizondo, and really, I feel like they are doing an amazing job. Chris Mellon, TTSA, the whole TTSA team. Upon the Phenomenon said, Joe Rogan interview was solid. Tom handled it really well, in my opinion. He did, but Joe Rogan was totally belittling him. He was trying to be like, what are you talking about? And now Joe Rogan is like talking about, the Go Fast, the gimbal video, the FLIR video. He's bringing on Jeremy Corbell and Fravor, and he's in the mix now. At the moment, he was being kind of skeptical, but Tom proved himself. Tom basically created that situation. Tom basically made all those people get there to Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Tom and TTSA, but you guys got to give credit to Tom, man. Really. So, who died? You guys are talking about somebody died in the live chat. Julie says, did he die? Sleeve? I don't know who you guys are talking about. And then Sleeve says, no, I think he's still going, Jules. Who are you guys saying that died? Let me know. Carson Lotta said, I like Lou. And Mellon, don't trust DeLonge. Thing is, guys, Tom DeLonge is a rock star, right? Tom DeLonge is a guy like me. He's a guy like me. I'm not a rock star, but I'm saying he's a normal guy. And I think if I had a bunch of money and I was just like, hey, I'm going to create something like TTSA, or I'm going to start working with government, ex-government to try to find the truth, I'm pretty sure people will rip my head off. And I'm pretty sure as the channel grows and as this community gets bigger, and you guys, as we get bigger as a community, I'm sure people are going to start showing their true colors, about the way maybe that my approach is to the phenomenon, or what I think about the phenomenon, or my research, or my videos, my content, what I'm what my goals are. People are just waiting to nitpick people apart, especially in our community. Our community can be pretty dangerous to traverse, right? It's strange, you know. I never thought that would happen in the UFO community. I never thought there would be these, you know, sharks just swimming around, just waiting for you to slip up, you know, waiting for you to drop a little blood in the water. But they're there. They exist. And I truly believe that it has a lot to do with dedicating so much of your life to this topic, you know, and really believing in something, and then seeing somebody appear or somebody come out, or like Tom DeLonge, somebody that maybe doesn't align with what you imagine would be somebody that could take this subject to where it needs to go. But I think that disclosure is actually not happening the way people ever imagined it would. Nobody would have ever imagined TTSA, Tom DeLonge, just to basically take us to where he took us, you know. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving all the conversations you guys are having, guys. V says, I'm so sick of Joe Rogan. Guys, how much did he sell his podcast for? Like a boatload of money. That's crazy. You guys are talking about Richard? Which Richard are you guys talking about? Oh, Richard Hoagland. I don't think he's dead either. We could check that. You guys run a search. Try to see if he's dead or not. Joe Rogan reaches a demographic of millions and should be seen as a hugely viable platform to get information out to a much wider audience. I think Joe Rogan is just your normal, average, everyday guy, right? That does have a platform that reaches a demographic of millions. And yes, that's why I'm happy when I see, you know, people like Fravor on there. Even Jeremy Corbell. I was super happy to see Jeremy Corbell on there, and yeah, I mean, it's just we are becoming more mainstream. This subject is becoming more mainstream, right? The subject is being talked about. Some people are saying disclosure is not happening. Some people are mocking the disclosure community, and it is happening. You know, we are not, you know, we are just a group of people that support disclosure, that we're fighting for it. I'm not going to make disclosure happen. The only way I could ever do that is, like I said, if I ever get behind those closed doors, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Project Uni said, at the Under Gal Show, you missed what I said. James Fox and Jack Valet might be on the Joe Rogan show on the 4th. Wow, that's going to be awesome. Jack Valet, literally, I've been thinking for so long he needs to be on there. He definitely needs to be on there. He's going to trip Joe Rogan out, you know, when he starts talking and sharing his view, his take on this. Mickle in a Pickle says, it's great to see this onion being peeled back, revealing more secrets. Yes, definitely. And it's a game we're playing. We're playing a game of chess. We're seeing the moves. You know, that's why we're seeing all these. We're basically following the game. We're not the players moving the pieces, though. At least not now. We are just supporting the players that are moving the pieces. And we do our best work, you know, trying to research and trying to create our own theories and look for the truth ourselves, which is what we all do and what I do. But at the end of the day, you know, some people get so stuck in this idea that, like, if we don't have disclosure tomorrow or now, then they're not, you know, it's a waste of time. But it's literally like, for me at this point, all the information that has come out for me is basically like, I don't know what else. They literally would have to bring a dead alien body out in front of me and go like, here's a dead alien body. Like, I'm literally at this point 100%, but I truly believe that UFOs are real. I'm not, you know, there's not a doubt in my mind. Growing up, there might have been a little doubt, you know. Over the years, that doubt started diminishing with the more research. But now, disclosure is happening piece by piece. It's trickling out. So we're going to have to wait for it to keep going. We have to keep doing our research and keep trying to talk about this subject, because even having these lives and having these discussions, the more people that see this live, the more people that see, my content or any content like Project Unity's content, or listen to podcasts about this subject, it really does help. Like, people don't realize, like, even certain tweets that get retweeted a bunch of times, like, all that stuff helps. People think that social media doesn't have an effect. What we're doing here doesn't have an effect. It does have an effect. It does help. We are, like, there. We are doing something. Project Unity said Valet will be speaking to millions of people via Rogan. He will be. And I'm sure Rogan's going to take him serious. I'm sure Rogan changed his tune after that Tom DeLonge interview. Like, he started taking the subject way more serious. I think at this point he thinks UFOs are real too. Like, I think he's there. I know in the past he said he worked on some show where he talked to, like, people that were into the paranormal or something, and it kind of turned him off from it because he felt like none of the people were really credible. The Night Hunter, what's up, man? Glad to see you back. He said, I remember that dude, Luis Elizondo, said to read this one book called The Chains of the Sea. Absolutely fascinating book. You guys should read it. I have not read that book. The Chains by the Sea. Oh, The Chains of the Sea, sorry. Make sure to read it. Night Hunter seems to like it, and Lou Elizondo suggested it, so I think it's worth a little skim or a full read, definitely. Project Unity says, ridiculous that people would complain about Jack Valet and James Fox getting on a platform that showcases in front of tens of millions. Yeah, I mean, like Joe Rogan or not, the real thing there is, like, he's going to reach so many people, right? That's why, guys, in the community, I literally am, like, trying my best to not start drama. Right? I don't got time for that. I really don't. I've seen people jump at me in the past, just waiting for me, to start this back and forth situation, and it's not going to happen, right? And there are people that you might not like that have platforms that could really help this subject get where it needs to get. That's something that we always need to keep that in mind. It's like, it's not just about us. It's not just about you and me. It's about the phenomenon and reaching everyone, reaching the masses. That is so important for this to get further and for us to get closer to the truth. We need the masses to get to where we are, to this understanding that this phenomenon is real. We need them to loosen up, stop hearing the X-Files music, and to really give this subject a serious take. Because the more people that do that, the more common everyday people that start to accept this, that's when disclosure will really, start to surprise people, I think. Is when this subject is truly, truly out in the open, and there's no more denying it or ignoring it. That's when disclosure will be its most powerful. Hey, Linda, what's up? Thank you for being here. Maddock, what's up, man? Project Unity, he said, do you think Rogan's appearance is the big news that Fox has been talking about? Oh, that's a good question, man. That's a good question, Maddox. Or Mad Duck. I called you Maddox, even though I like Maddox. Project Unity, he's got to head off. So everybody, say bye to Project Unity. Thank you, man, for being here. You're an awesome dude. I'll see you soon, my friend. He says, my friend says, you have a very soothing voice and should do audiobooks. That's not the first time I've heard that I should do audiobooks. I'm glad some people like my voice. I'm not a big fan of my voice, but V says, it's awesome that Valet is slumming it on Rogan. We're lucky. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, for you, maybe you just don't like Rogan's approach or his take on it, V, but we got to give it to, the amount of people that it's gonna touch, the amount of people that are gonna see it. Some people don't like, for example, Jeremy Corbell. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Corbell's work, right? And when he created that, I forget the name of the Skinwalker Ranch film all the time. I'm like that with everything, with music and everything. But his Skinwalker Ranch documentary, it's like that totally helped people know more about, Skinwalker Ranch. And then when he did the Bob Lazar documentary, everyone was talking about Bob Lazar. And then Bob Lazar went on Joe Rogan. I'm saying, and people hearing those stories and just learning about the phenomenon, learning about this subject is what we need. We need that. It might be difficult, it might be on certain platforms that we don't agree with all the time, but we want those ears. We want to get those people listening. Upon the Phenomenon said, some ETs are probably bioengineered AI machines, like in the Secret Machines books. Somebody the other day kindly helped me get a audio book copy of the first Secret Machines book, and I'm starting to listen to it. I haven't read the Secret Machines books. Everyone's talking about it to me. Everyone's referred to it to me a bunch of times. And I will be reading them all, definitely. Pro Illusionist said, night everyone, gotta go to sleep now. Pro Illusionist, thank you for being here, man. You're the coolest, dude. Have a good night, and we will talk soon. Crooked Bangs, Rogan is a flip-flopper. Rogan is a flip-flopper. He wears flip-flops. And he also, he has to flip-flop. That's, I think, part of what makes his platform, so big, right? That's why his audience is so big. That's why he can get so many people on his show. They're not afraid to go talk to him. Mad Duck said, it's cool. Enjoyed the fireside chat. The fireside chat on Project Unity's channel, that was a great experience, guys. You guys should definitely check that out. I hope to do more stuff like that. The Night Hunter said, you have quite the following. If I had a choice on a road trip, I'd pick the Gaucho any day of the week. Thanks, Night Hunter. Once this coronavirus stuff is done, which is, I don't know when it's going to happen, right? I really have a bunch of locations that I want to visit in Argentina. I want to film videos outside again, if that, plain and simple. But there are some spots that I want to take you guys with me and maybe camp out and try to, figure out if I can see something there. Because locations where people have seen UFOs or, had experiences. And the last time I went to Cordoba, for example, really cool. My family was there visiting from Los Angeles, and we were all hanging out. And I really wanted to go to the Uritorco, right? The Uritorco is a legendary, sort of like a mountain, where supposedly there is an alien race that lives inside the mountain. But apart from that legend, people actually see stuff at the Uritorco. I actually saw some lights, some anomalous lights in the sky at the base of the Uritorco with my wife a few years back. So this time I went with my family, and I'm trying to enjoy my time. I don't want to be all about UFOs the whole time because I haven't seen them in so long, right? My cousins are like my brothers, so it's like I was happy to see them. And we end up going to Capilla del Monte, which is like a UFO town, right? It's all UFO themed. I made a whole video about it. And it was kind of crazy because like I really wanted to camp out at the Uritorco, and I didn't get a chance to. I did it with my wife. We camped at the base of the Uritorco one night, but she's not really into this phenomenon, and I feel like I need to go back there because I've heard so many stories from the Uritorco and from Capilla del Monte about people seeing UFOs and beings and all this kind of stuff, that I think I need to go do those kinds of things and take you guys with me, and film, I don't know, maybe like documentary style videos in those towns. Because I don't know. It's like I need to try to find a way to really experience the phenomenon up close and personal, and use that to, to help strengthen the topic, and take you guys with me basically through my camera. um, so I hope once I can get back out on the streets again, I can take you guys to different spots like Punto Indio. That's another one. If you guys want, search that up, Punto Indio. And there's some interesting cases from there. Argentina's got a lot of places to visit, so I hope I can do that soon. Upon the Phenomenon said, "You're the most well-spoken YouTuber in this field, in my opinion." I'm honored you would even say that, man. You actually have great videos, and you're very well-spoken as well. I actually try to speak well in these videos, and when we do lives and stuff. I worry too how I sound, so it feels really good to hear that. And then Carson Lada said, "I second that. Undead Gaucho is the most genuine." Thank you, man. Super cool. Nickel in a Pickle said, "Funny though, if I brought up the UFO topic at my work, they would still roll their eyes. People still suffer from tunnel vision." Yeah. So, but this is a good example. So my family, right, they're visiting me, and we go to Cordoba, like I said, and we're there, and there's this UFO museum, right? I don't think people really get to that point in my video, because my video is like half an hour long. It's like my whole Cordoba trip. But there's this UFO museum, and it's this little house. Like, it was crazy because I'd been there and I'd never heard about the UFO museum, right? I'd been there a few times and nobody ever said, "Hey, there's a UFO museum." And this time I was with my cousins and my godmother and stuff. And they were like, "Whatever, like, let's go check it out if you want," because I was super, they know I make this content and stuff. And they were like, "Cool, let's just go see it." And it was this little house with a sign outside that said UFO Museum in Spanish, obviously. It was OVNI, Museo de OVNIs. And there was this woman in there. I don't have her name off the top of my head, but she's a known researcher here. I found that out after. I didn't even know. And we went in the house, and she had like all this artwork and all this research, and it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy what you can find when you go on these kinds of adventures. You just have to be open to try to, it was like I was experiencing a side of the phenomenon that I hadn't seen in Cordoba yet. And I didn't know there was an OVNI, Museo de OVNIs in Cordoba. And it was really personal. It wasn't like your cheesy UFO museum, right? Where it's like, there's just like models and stuff laying around and like little, cutouts and dates. This was literally like, this is her house, and this is all the research she's done, and she's super dedicated to this, and she lives in this museum. It was crazy. One second, guys. I need some water. I'm getting dry throat again. You guys should check it out. If you watch my Cordoba video, just jump like closer to the end of it, and you'll see some of the UFO museum. Interesting place, and Cordoba is a great place to visit if you guys ever get a chance. It's a beautiful place. Apart from the UFO phenomenon and all that kind of stuff, Argentina's got some nice locations. Shadows of Your Mind says, Washington Examiner did a piece on the debrief article, and suggested the aircrew responsible for the triangle photo were operating off either the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower or the USS John C. Stennis. Man, the photo. Are we going to see that photo? Do you guys think we're going to see it? Do you guys think we're going to get a chance to really see the photo? I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I hope we end up seeing the photo. The Night Haunter says, "Do you write me?" He says, "Do you write me, and I'll drop you some documents and give you a little something to chew on straight from the horse's mouth. All hail all hail Roadhouse 115 at Gmail." I might have to write you, man. I don't know if you're talking to me, if you're talking to somebody in the live chat. Well, guys, look, it's been a wonderful live chat tonight. We've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. I promised not to do this for too long tonight, because, like, this is a new location. We are dealing, with we had a little family crisis, and I got to get back to normal life. But never stop searching for the truth. You guys are all awesome. All the kind things you said to me in the live chat, and I am more than honored every time you guys show up here. You guys really are the driving force behind this channel, and I love you guys just as much as you love me, honestly. Hey, somebody just said they don't get a chance to catch these lives because they're in Australia. I promise to, I can't get a time for everybody because I'm in Argentina too. So a lot of you guys are all over the world. These replays will always be on here. And if you follow me on Twitter, try to DM me, shoot me a DM if you want. Really get in contact with me. I'm a nice guy. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. I'm a little busy, so don't get your hopes up I don't know if you're not going to say don't get your hopes up, but like, don't feel weird if you text me and I don't get back to you guys quickly. I will get back to you. I will answer all messages always, but you guys are the greatest. So basically, I never know how to end these, and never stop searching for the truth. You guys are all awesome, and I'll see you again next Wednesday for another live. We'll talk soon, guys.